Here is a number that will make your skin crawl. According to a Money Geek report, standard home insurance covers mold only when it comes from a sudden, accidental, covered peril, like a burst pipe. But here is the part that will ruin your day. Mold from high humidity, poor ventilation, or a slow leak, completely excluded. And that is the most common way mold happens. You wake up one morning to a musty smell, open a wall, and find black mold that has been spreading for months. You call your insurance agent, and they say 3 words that will cost you thousands. Not a sudden event. A report by Ramsey Solutions confirms that decades ago, standard policies paid for mold removal no matter what. But today, most policies have a specific mold exclusion. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to get coverage for mold, the 5 hidden traps that leave you exposed, and the emergency steps to take before the rot destroys your home's value. And today, I am going to give you a step-by-step blueprint on how to get your mold damage covered. We will cover the difference between sudden discharge and negligence, the secret mold sublimits buried in your declaration page, and the type of water damage endorsement that is the only way you will ever get a check for mold. We will also look at the specific rules for mold in the UK and Canada. Do not skip this video. That musty smell is a time bomb, and this is your only chance to diffuse it. Body segment 1, let me start by smashing the biggest myth in home insurance. Most people think if they have all risk coverage, they are safe. You are not. In a standard HO3 policy, mold is not a peril like fire or wind. It is a consequence of moisture, and if the moisture came from a slow leak, a plumbing drip behind a wall, or just high humidity in your basement, your claim is dead on arrival. A Progressive insurance guide states bluntly that homeowners insurance does not usually cover mold unless it is the result of a covered peril, like a sudden bursting pipe. So, if you are not sure where the water came from, the adjuster will assume it came from neglect. There are only a few narrow windows where mold is covered. The first is a sudden and accidental discharge. Think of a washing machine supply line that randomly explodes, or a dishwasher that malfunctions. If a sudden event like that floods your home and the resulting water damage causes mold, the remediation of the mold is covered along with the water damage. A key caveat from Progressive is that you have to report the damage promptly. If you wait even a week to call, the adjuster will argue that you could have prevented the mold by acting faster. The second covered scenario is firefighting water. If a fire starts in your kitchen and the fire department hoses down your whole house, that water will inevitably lead to mold behind your walls. Because the water came from a covered fire event, the subsequent mold remediation is usually covered. The third is storm damage. If a hurricane or windstorm tears a hole in your roof and rain pours in, that is a sudden covered event. Any mold that grows from that rain intrusion is covered, not the mold from a pre-existing roof leak. Body segment 2. Now here is where the gap gets scary. Let us look at what is not covered. You need to understand the difference between a sudden event and maintenance. If you have a slow drip under your kitchen sink for 3 months that you did not notice, the mold that grows behind the cabinets is on you. Insurers classify slow leaks as preventable. The Policy Genius list of exclusions explicitly includes mold caused by long-term water intrusion as non-covered. Another huge trap is fluting. Even if a river bursts its banks and sends 2 feet of water into your basement, your standard policy pays nothing for the mold that results. Mold from external flooding is excluded. You would need a separate flood policy. The same goes for sewer backup. If your city's sewage line backs up into your tub and you end up with black mold, you are also out of luck unless you bought the specific sewer backup endorsement. And the worst trap? The asterisk latent defect. If you bought a house that had shoddy construction, like a bathroom that was never waterproofed, leading to mold in the walls, your insurance will deny it. They consider that a construction defect, not a sudden accident. This leads us to the secret weapon. Even if you think the mold is sudden, most standard policies have a sneaky trap. Asterisk, mold sub-limits. I have seen policies that say they cover mold, but when you read the fine print, the limit is $5,000 or even $1,000. A Canadian source from VR Restoration confirms that many policies cap mold remediation between $5,000 and $10,000. If you have a $10,000 deductible and a $5,000 mold limit, you will get nothing. That is the secret denial that does not require a letter. If you have not checked your declaration page for this limit, you are walking blind. Body segment 3. So what do you do if you find mold tomorrow? You have a specific playbook. Asterisk step 1, stop the leak. Asterisk, you have a duty to mitigate your own damage. Turn off the water, patch the roof, move your furniture, take photos of the standing water and the broken pipe, asterisk, before you clean it up. Asterisk, step 2, do not ignore it. The Money Supermarket Guide warns that mold, especially black mold, is a serious health hazard. Long-term exposure can cause severe respiratory issues. Get a certified mold inspector in immediately to test the air quality and confirm the source of the moisture. Asterisk, step 3, the documentation battle. Asterisk, your insurance adjuster needs to see evidence that the water event was sudden and accidental. If you call a plumber, get a report stating exactly what failed. If the pipe burst, that is covered. If the plumber says the pipe corroded over 10 years and then failed, that is wear and tear, and you are not covered. Now, let's look at asterisk Canada. The rules are similar, but the cold climate adds a twist. Most Canadian insurers view mold as a maintenance issue. Sonnet Insurance states that mold is generally not covered because it happens over a period of time. However, there is a huge exception in Canada for water damage from a sudden and accidental escape of water. If your hot water tank bursts in the basement and floods the carpet, leading to mold, that is likely covered. The critical difference in Canada is asterisk overland flood coverage. Many Canadians recently discovered that their standard policy does not cover sewage, backup, or overland flooding, which is a massive source of mold. You need to ask for that rider, and in the asterisk UKers, the situation is bleak. According to Money Supermarket, standard home insurance does not cover damp or mold unless it is caused by an insured peril like a flood or a burst pipe. Condensation is the biggest driver of mold in the UK. If you dry clothes indoors or have poor ventilation, the resulting black mold is a maintenance issue, not an insurance issue. The UK housing crisis has led to a rise in mold exposure health crisis warnings, with severe lung illnesses linked to damp homes. Private medical insurance is now being looked at as a way to treat the health effects, because the home insurance won't fix the property. Conclusions recap what you need to do to avoid being that person crying over a denied mold claim. First, check your policy. Look for the words fungus, wet rot, dry rot, or bacteria in the exclusion section. If the limit is less than $10,000, you are underinsured. Second, install water leak detectors. A cheap $50 sensor near your water heater and washing machine can stop a slow leak before it ruins your walls. Third, if you live in a flood zone, buy that sewer backup endorsement. It is the only way to get mold remediation paid for. Fourth, document everything. Keep receipts for dehumidifiers, air scrubbers, and moisture meters. Show the insurance company you are fighting the rot, not ignoring it. Here is what I want you to do right now. Go check your water heater. Look for rust spots at the base. Put your hand on the wall behind the washing machine. Does it feel damp? If you feel moisture, you are hours away from a mold claim denial. Do not wait. Get it fixed. If this video saved you from a denied mold claim, hit the like button. It helps more homeowners avoid the hidden rot in their policies. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss my next video, which is called Sewer Backup, the smelly loophole that saves your basement. And comment below, have you ever found mold in your home? Did your insurance pay? I read every comment. Thanks for watching. Now go check those pipes. See you in the next one.